Welcome to Passport and Profit. Today I'll explain you how I built a 100 plus car business and why I downsized to 20 cars. I started this business roughly about late 2017 or early 2018, but I started with the one one car which is Prius, and I believe this was one of the first 5 cars that I bought at that time from UK market. 2013, because it was a 5-year-old car at that time. At that time, there was a business that was booming in London market. It's called minicab business. So, for example, if you have any car that's qualified to be a minicab in London, you can drive it, you can rent it out as long as you have this license, Transport for London license. You can use it up to 10 years until it's 10 years old. So in 2018, you can use any vehicle that's 2009 and above. So, but it's not a good idea to buy a very old vehicle because you're gonna be end up paying too much in the maintenance, and it's not a good idea to buy a very newer vehicle because you're gonna be paying very high for it. Like for example, 20,000 plus pounds you're gonna pay for one car. So it's not good for business. So there's a 10-year range. The car has to be 10-year-old. So I decided to buy a mid-range mini cabs, the cabs which have 5-year shelf life. So for example, which has 5 year left on the mini cab license. So for example, in 2018, I bought this one 2013 model, which has 5 year left. So I bought most of my car were 2013 models at that time. So I started one car, became five became 10. So I used my reserve cash to increase the business, and all the profits that I was making, I was reinvesting in the business. Later, I found out about the Japanese market, which kind of gave a very big boost to my business. I found out that if you buy a mini cab from a London market, so car like that at that time was 10,000 pounds. But if you buy from a Japanese market, so the car will be 30% cheaper, and you will end up getting it licensed within 6 months. It's a whole process to import the car. So you will be able to license it within 6 months, and the car will cost you 7,000, and you can run it for another 5 years. So just you have to wait for 6 months. So if you invest 2 car like this, 2013 models, you can get 3 mini cabs from Japan for the same price. So what it costs to expand me 20 cars, I spend the same amount of money and expanded 30 cars. And plus this is when I started my buying selling business, import business from Japan. Then COVID happened. During COVID times, so my both businesses, import export sales and minicab business, grew to almost 105 cars. I was aiming for 200 cars, by the way, but sadly the COVID happened. A lot of people lost a lot of money. I've spoken to some companies. It took them years, even 3 years. Multiple companies, mega companies, it took them years to recover, because when COVID happened, we had to pay for the storage for nearly 1 year because all there was all lockdown, and the car they devalue. So they devalue each year, plus you're paying storage on top. So that's a double loss. So it happened for like nearly the second year wasn't that good as either, because the market was picking up, the devaluation continues. So there was a big loss. So 2 years of minicab license I lost in that. So only money I was able to recover was like just another year or so, like to 2022 and 2023. That was the last year I could have recovered. So I got out of the minicab business. Out of 70 minicabs, I only have two left. These are my last two minicabs left. This we kept it for like company private usage because they're very economical. They're very less use less fuel. They're a hybrid and everything. So the problem with these car is it's I decided to downsize is because it's the maintenance cost after COVID. It's one astronomical. It's very high at this point. So it's not viable. Like for example, you can save about 50% of your used to save about 50% of your gross income, but I would say it's not even like 20% at this point now, unless you have like a person like our company. We had like 70 mini cabs, so we needed like our own workshop and our own maintenance service in order to be economical now, which is not, it is not worth it. Because then I decided to invest in different sort of businesses. You change with the market. But then I decided to turn this business into part-time, and my mainly I'm also focusing on real estate. So I used to do real estate before. I'm back into the real estate again, but I'm just showing you that still there's a way to make profit from this business, but it's not. I do this part-time at this point. So the market has changed, so the business model is changed. So you have to reduce unnecessary costs, you have to downsize it, and you have to avoid the vehicles which are less in demand. So it's a new strategy. I totally changed. I started buying a variety of vehicles which attracts different type of buyers. So from minicab company, it turned into an import export company. Then it turned into import export, not just Japanese models, import export German models as well. So this is how the business tactic totally changed. And any people, because we have dealt with like 70 minicabs at the peak, actually we were above 70 minicabs. So I would not recommend anybody going into this business with a high volume unless you have your own garage, unless you have your own setup. Because if you get maintenance service from someone else, the cost will not be suitable for you, because the newer model vehicles are depreciate very highly, and plus you have higher cost at this point to fight. Plus the business demand, I don't think is much higher. Plus there's a talk of, which is a bit far now, there's a talk of robo taxis which already started many parts in the United States now. So I don't think this is a good idea to get into minicab business anymore. So this is why I changed into this import export model. And I think it's not in just UK. It can work in United States, it can work in Europe. So this business model, like, so my strategy is to just downsize and just focus on good brands and don't buy unnecessary stock. And this is the only way you can attract, you can sell one car and make a good profit, rather than trying to go for quantity and make your costs higher. You will need more space, you will need more people, more staff. So this way you downsize, you improve your cash flow and reduce expenses.